All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm very pleased to be here at Ranchdale Public School. On behalf of the Toronto District School Board and my fellow trustees, welcome. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ken Lister. I'm the trustee for Don Valley East and for Ranchdale Public School. As your trustee, I believe that students learn best when they are engaged in one meaningful way. To help students connect more deeply with what they're learning is to link it to the real world. Learning must be connected to their lives in order to affect them most. And the Hour of Code is a great example of that sort of learning. Through this global event, our students join tens of millions of students in more than 180 countries. They will be spending 1 hour learning how to code and getting an introduction to computing science. One of the reasons that Hour of Code is so important for us at the TDSB is the all students with a hands-on introduction to computing science. We want to broaden the participation of girls and other traditionally underrepresented groups in the field. So the Hour of Code is not only about learning computing science, it's also about engagement and it's about equity. And I'm thrilled to see Ranchdale and many more schools and classrooms participating each year. I also want to recognize an exceptional teacher who is here with us today. Ray Mercer, along with a few of his colleagues, developed, organized, and led an annual extracurricular event called Rethink the Box. And that event challenges student teams to use their science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills to develop solutions to real-life problems. Last year, teams from 14 schools were challenged to create an assistive device that would make daily life easier for students with disabilities. For this work, Ray and his colleagues it's these kinds of initiatives that are providing students in our city with the 21st century skills and the competencies to thrive in a globalized world. I also want to thank teacher Catherine Beattie and her grade 4-5 class and students for showing us how they're putting their amazing coding skills to use with robots. Principal Sarah Nelman, Superintendent Curtis Ennis, and the staff and students and parent council here at Ranchdale for hosting us for this fantastic event. And now it gives me great pleasure to welcome our special guest today. We're delighted to be joined by the Honourable Mitzi Hunter, Minister of Education. Please join me in welcoming Minister Hunter to say a few words.
Thank you very much, and it's really great to be here, and it's very energizing to be in a classroom with students who are so engaged in their learning, and I just want to thank everyone for this warm welcome. Hello, bonjour. Thank you, Principal Nauman, for welcoming me to Ranchdale today, and I would like to first acknowledge that we are on traditional territory of several Indigenous nations and that this is a sacred gathering place for many Indigenous people of Turtle Island. A huge thank you to Ms. Catherine Beattie, whose grade 4 and 5 class was just charged and energized this morning as they showed us their bots. And of course, Mr. Ray Mercer, I didn't know you were award-winning. So when we met earlier today, I have even more respect for the work that you're doing. And it's important that the school community has a champion like you, and that you're available to all staff and students here to talk about technology and how it will impact classroom learning. And what a great place to be as we kick off Computer Science Education Week in Ontario. It's always a pleasure to visit students and teachers across this wonderful province. Earlier today, I had a chance to be in the classroom and to really see firsthand how these talented students use an app to operate robots that were built by the students themselves. And I know that one of the teams, I was saying, oh, you've got to have those wings on your robot, you know, that will help your robot to win. And they're like, oh, we had that and we had to remove it. So it really shows the resiliency that our students are experiencing through the trial and error of the success of their robots during those competitions. And what I am most amazed at about these students is that they're not only learning about technology, they're also learning important life skills in the process. So such as critical thinking, problem solving, sequencing, creativity, and resilience. And I know that we can agree that this is an exciting time for education and, of course, for technology. We know that jurisdictions around the world are exploring how best to prepare their students for the knowledge-based innovation economy of today and tomorrow. We live in a world that is growing ever more complex. We depend so heavily on technology to communicate, to gather information, to buy and sell goods, to manage our personal finances, to develop global citizenship. You know, when I was in school, we had in my home the Atari computer, and I remember my brothers and I would play those games over and over and over again. But what I see here with what the students are learning, they're not just learning to consume, they're learning to develop and to co-create, and that's very exciting. And one day, when all these students are grown up, whether they want to work in healthcare, in entertainment, in education, in manufacturing, in finance, or a job that is not yet created, technology will play an even greater role in their lives and in their careers. Now more than ever, understanding technologies and developing digital literacy and computation thinking skills is not only essential to our students' academic success, it's essential to preparing Ontario for a more prosperous future. And that's one of the reasons I think Ms. Beattie and Mr. Mercer's lessons in the classroom are so inspiring and impressive. As part of Ontario's renewed vision for education, schools and school boards have been engaging students in developing the skills, the knowledge, and the attitudes that will support them in their futures. Building on this work, TVO partners with the Ministry of Education to highlight best practices in teaching and learning related to computational thinking and coding. TVO's Teach Ontario recently highlighted innovative ways for teachers to engage students in mathematics with coding and programming. Through our Technology and Learning Fund to promote innovation and transforming in teaching and learning. But while we have already seen the positive effects of this fund, we know that there is still more work to be done. And that's why I am so pleased to announce that the Ministry of Education is launching a new professional resource on coding for elementary school educators. This new resource will have lesson plans and other teaching tools that will illustrate how to integrate coding and various computational thinking skills into their classroom practices. With or without technology, even classrooms with limited or zero internet access will be able to implement this new resource. The hope is not only for this to have a positive impact on student success, but to help Ontario's phenomenal educators integrate computational thinking and coding into teaching. Moving forward, at the secondary school level, we are implementing the recommendations of the highly skilled workforce expert panel and increasing the participation rate in our specialist high skills major programming. This is all about experiential learning and connecting what students are learning in the classroom with what is happening in the world. And the information and communications technology portion of the specialist high skills major program enables students to build capacities in coding and computer systems. And we will work to expand opportunities for students to participate in this program. We need to equip our students with the skills to thrive in a world where technology is constantly evolving. Our students are global citizens. They require a wide range of tools and skills in order to adapt. And we are here today to scale our educational system to even greater heights. So thank you again to everyone. Thank you so much, Superintendent, for being here, for Trustee, for you being here as well, and of course for the warm welcome to Ranchdale Public School. It's truly energizing to see the passion in the students as they engage in this new way of learning. So I'm very pleased to be here, and I'm pleased to take your questions. If there are any questions.
With some of the leadership, they're saying that there's a problem with systemic racism and Islamophobia, and now with the trustees set to vote a new chair, they're hoping there'll be change from the top. What would you say to parents who are concerned?
Well, I believe that, I've certainly responded to the concerns that I've heard from parents as it relates to the response that they have received to some of the questions that they've asked the leadership, whether at the board or the senior management level at York Region. So my expectation is that, our schools remain safe and welcoming places for all students. And when serious concerns such as Islamophobia or racism are raised, that is responded to in an appropriate manner by the leadership of the school board. So I have expressed to the leadership that I would like to see what they have done in terms of responding to the concerns of students and parents, and to lay that out in a report back to me by early January 2017. Thank you. Thanks very much, everyone.